Excerpt from local newspaper. Ominous unknown killer still at large. After weeks of killing, the ominous unknown killer is still on the rise. After little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells the story. I had a bad dream and woke up in the middle of the night, says the boy. I saw that, for some reason, the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to go back to sleep. That's when I had a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. I looked up, nearly jumped out of my bed. There, in the little ray of light illuminating from my curtains, were a pair of two eyes. These weren't regular eyes, they were dark, ominous eyes. They were bordered in black, and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth. A long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my body stand up. The figure stood there watching me. Finally, after what seemed like forever, he said it. A simple phrase, but said it in a way only a madman could speak. He said, "Go to sleep." I let out a scream. As was sent him at me. He pulled up a knife, aiming at my heart. He jumped on my bed. I fought him back. I kicked. I punched. I rolled around, trying to knock him off me. That's when my dad busted in with his 12-gauge shotgun. He aimed at the man and almost got him. Before he could pull the trigger, the man jumped out of the way. The man threw the knife in a Bowie knife style into my dad's shoulder. Dad dropped the gun. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police. They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran in the hallway. I heard a smash like glass breaking. As I came out of my room, I saw the window that was pointing towards the back of my house was broken. I looked out at it to see him vanish into the distance. I'll tell you one thing. I'll never forget that face. Those cold, evil eyes. That psychotic smile will never leave my head. Police still are on the lookout for this man. If you see anyone that fits the description of this story, please contact your local police department. Jeff and his family had moved into the new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work, and they thought it'd be best to live in one of those fancy neighborhoods. Jeff and his brother Luke couldn't complain, though. A new, better house, what was not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of the neighbors came by. "Hello," she said. "I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you." Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and to introduce my son. She turned around and called her son over. "Billy, these are our new neighbors." Billy said hi and ran back to play in his yard. "Well," said Jeff's mom, "I'm Margaret, and this is my husband Peter, and our two sons Jeff and Lou." They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday party. Jeff and his brother were about to object when the mom said they'd love to. When Jeff and his family are done packing, Jeff went up to his mom. "Mom, why did you invite us to some kid's party?" "If you haven't noticed, I'm not some dumb kid." "Jeff," said his mother, "we just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now we're going to that party, and that's final." Jeff started to talk, but stopped himself knowing he couldn't do anything. Whenever his mom said something, it was final. He walked up to his room, popped on his bed. He sat there looking at the ceiling when Suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much a pain, but a weird feeling. He dismisses it as if some random feeling. He heard his mother call him down to get his stuff, and he walked down to get it. The next day, Jeff walked down the stairs to get breakfast and get ready for school. As he sat there eating his breakfast, he once again got that feeling. This time it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain. But he once again dismissed it. As he and Lou finished breakfast, they walked down to the bus stop. He sat there waiting for the bus, and then, all of a sudden, some kid on a skateboard jumped over them, only inches above their laps. They both jumped back in surprise. "Hey, what the hell?" The kid landed and turned back to them. He picked up his skateboard, got it with his hands. The kid seemed about 12. 1 year younger than Jeff. He wears an Aeropostale shirt and ripped blue jeans. Well, well, well. Looks like we got some new meat. Suddenly 2 other kids appeared. One was super skinny and the other was huge. "Well, since you're new here, I'd like to introduce ourselves. Over there is Keith." Jeff and Lou looked over to the skinny kid. He has a dopey face that you'd expect a sidekick to have. "And he's Troy." They looked over at the fat kid. Talk about a tub of lard. This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was crawling. "And I," says the kid, "am Randy. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there's a small price for bus fare. If you catch my drift." Lou stood up, ready to punch the light out of the kid's eyes, when one of his friends pulled a knife on him. "I'd hope you'd be more cooperative, but it seems we must do this the hard way." The kid walked up to Lou, took his wallet out of his pocket. Jeff got that feeling again. Now it was truly strong, a burning sensation. Lou stood up. Well, he stood up. Lou gestured him to sit back down. Jeff ignored him, though, and walked up to the kid. "Listen here, you little punk. Give back my bro's wallet or else." Randy put the wallet in his pocket, pulled out his own knife. "Oh? What you gonna do?" Just as he finished his sentence, Jeff popped the kid in the nose. As Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed the kid's wrist and broke it. Randy screamed, and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand. Troy and Keith rushed Jeff, but he's too quick. He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed out at him, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Keith dropped the knife and fell to the ground screaming. Troy rushed him too, but Jeff didn't even need the knife. He just punched Troy straight in the stomach, and Troy went down. As he fell, he puked all over the place. Lou could do nothing but look in amazement at Jeff. "Jeff, how did you..." was all that he said. Saw the bus coming and knew they would wait for the whole thing, so they started running as fast as they could. As they ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others. As Jeff and Lou made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened. All they did was sit and listen. Lou just thought of that as his brother beating up a few kids, but Jeff knew it was more. It was something scary. As he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was, the urge to just hurt someone. He didn't like the way it sounded, but he couldn't help but feel happy. He felt that strange feeling go away, and stay away for the entire day of school. Even as he walked home due to the whole thing near the bus stop, and how now probably wouldn't be using the bus anymore, he felt happy. When he got home, his parents asked how his day was, and he said, in a somewhat ominous voice, it was a wonderful day. Next morning, he heard a knock at his front door. He walked down to find 2 police officers at the door. His mother looked back at him with an angry look. "Jeff, these officers tell me you attacked 3 kids. That it wasn't a regular fight and that they were stabbed. Stabbed, son! Jeff gaze fell to the floor, showing his mother that it was true. Mom, they were the ones who pulled the knives on me and Lou.
Son, said one of the cops, we found 3 kids, 2 stabbed, 1 having a bruise on his stomach, and we have witnesses proving that you fled the scene. What does that tell us?
Jeff knew it was no use. He could say him and Lou had been attacked, but there's no proof it was them who attacked first. They couldn't say they weren't fleeing, because, well, truth be told they were. So Jeff couldn't defend himself or Lou.
Son, call in your brother.
Jeff couldn't do it, since it was him who beat up all the kids. Sir, it was me. I was the one who beat up the kids. Lou tried to hold me back, but he couldn't stop me. Cop looked at his partner. They both nodded.
Well, kid, looks like you're in juvie.
Wait! Says Lou. They all looked up to see him holding a knife. The officers pulled their guns and locked them on Lou.
It was me. I beat up those little punks. Had the marks to prove it.
He lifted up his sleeve to show cuts and bruises, as if he were in a struggle.
Son, just put down the knife,
said the officer. Lou held up the knife and dropped it to the ground. Put his hands up, walked over to the cops. No, Lou, it was me, I did it. Jeff had tears running down his face.
Poor bro, trying to take the blame for what I did. Well, take me away.
The police led Lou out to the patrol car. Lou, tell him it was me. Tell him I was the one who beat up those kids. Jeff's mother put her hand on his shoulder. Jeff, please, you don't have to lie. We know it's Lou, you can stop. Jeff watched, helplessly, as the cop's car sped off with Lou inside. A few minutes later, Jeff's dad pulled into the driveway, seeing his son's face, knowing something was wrong.
Son, what is it?
Couldn't answer. Jeff's little vocal cords were strained from crying. Instead, Jeff's mother walked his father inside to break the bad news to him, as Jeff wept in the driveway. After about an hour or so, Jeff walked back into the house, seeing his parents were both shocked, sad, disappointed. Couldn't look at them. He couldn't see how they thought of Lou when it was his fault. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off his mind. 2 days went by with no word from Lou at JDC. No friends to hang out with. Nothing but sadness and guilt. That isn't until Saturday, when Jeff was woke up by his mother with a happy, sunshiny face. Jeff, it's the day, she said, as she opened the curtains and let light flood into the room. What? What's today? Asked Jeff as he started awake. Why, it's Billy's party. Jeff's not fully awake. Mom, you're joking, right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after... There was a long pause. Jeff, we both know what happened. I think this party could be the thing that brightens up the past few days. Now get dressed. Jeff's mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get herself ready. Jeff fought himself to get up. He picked up a random shirt and a pair of jeans, walked down the stairs. He saw his mother and father all dressed up, his mom in a dress and his father in a suit. He thought, why would they wear such fancy clothes to go to a kid's party? Son, is that all you're gonna wear? Said Jeff's mom. "I don't wear too much," he said. Jeff's mom pushes down the feeling to yell at him. Hit it with a smile.
"Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression," says father.
Jeff grunted, went back to his room.
"I don't have any fancy clothes,"
he yelled downstairs. "Just pick something out," called his mother. He looked around his closet for what he would call fancy, and he found a pair of black dress pants he had for special occasions and an undershirt. Couldn't find a shirt to go with it, though. He looked around, and all he had were striped and patterned shirts, none of which go with the dress pants. Finally, found a white hoodie, put it on. Walked down the stairs, his parents looked up at him. "You're wearing that?" they both said. His mother looked at her watch. "No time to change, let's just go," she said as she hurried Jeff and his father out the door. They crossed the street over to Barb and Billy's house. They knocked on the door, and it appeared Barbara, just like his parents, were way overdressed. As they walked inside, all they could see was adults. No kids. "The kids are out in the yard. Jeff, how about you go out and meet some of the kids?" said Barbara. Jeff walked outside to a yard full of kids. They were running around in these weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other with plastic guns. Might as well be standing in a Toys R Us. Suddenly, a kid came up to him, handed him a toy gun and a hat.
"Hey, wanna play?"
he said. No, kid. I'm way too old for this stuff." Kid looked up at him with that weird puppy dog face.
"Please?"
said the kid. "Fine," said Jeff. He put on the hat and started to pretend she were the kids. At first, I thought it was totally ridiculous, but then he actually started to have fun. It might not have been super cool, but it was the first time he'd done something that took his mind off of his brother. So he played with the kids for a while, until they heard a noise. Weird rolling noise. Then it hit him. Randy, Keith, and Troy all jumped over the fence on their skateboards. Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. Randy looked at Jeff with burning hatred. "Hello. Jeff, is it?" he said. "We have some unfinished business." Jeff saw his bruised nose. "I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you, and you got my brother sent to JDC. Randy got an angry look in his eyes. "Oh no, I don't go for even. I go for winning. You may have kicked our asses that one day, but not today." As he said that, Randy rushed at Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose. Jeff grabbed him by the ears and headbutted him. Jeff pushed Randy off him and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming, and parents were running out of the house, but Troy and Keith both pulled guns out of their pockets. "No one moves, or guns will fly," they say. Randy pulled a knife on Jeff and stabbed him into his shoulder. Jeff screamed and fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. After about 3 kicks, Jeff grabbed his foot and twisted it, causing Randy to fall to the ground. Jeff stood up and walked over to the back door. Troy grabbed him. "Need some help?" He picked Jeff up by the back of his collar and threw him through the patio door. As Jeff tries to stand, he's kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he coughs up blood. "Come on, Jeff, fight me!" He picks Jeff up, throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter and smashes the glass over Jeff's head. "Fight!" He throws Jeff back into the living room. "Come on, Jeff, look at me!" Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood. "I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC, and now you're just gonna, what, let him sit there and rot in there for a whole year?
You should be ashamed. Jeff starts to get up. Oh, finally you stand and fight. Jeff's now on his feet. Blood and vodka on his face. Once again, he gets that strange feeling. The one in which he hasn't felt for a while. Finally, he's up, says Randy as he runs at Jeff. That's when it happened. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche's destroyed. All rational thinking is gone. All I can do is kill. He grabs Randy and pile drives him to the ground. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart. The punch causes Randy's heart to stop. As Randy gasps for breath, Jeff hammers down and punch after punch. Blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies. Everyone's looking at Jeff now. The parents, the crying kids, even Troy and Keith, although they easily break from their gaze and point their guns at Jeff. Jeff sees the guns trained on him and runs for the stairs. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him, each shot missing. Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith follow behind him as they let out their final round of bullets. Jeff ducks into the bathroom, grabs a towel rack, rips it off the wall. Troy and Keith brace up, knives ready. Troy swings the knife at Jeff, who backs away, and bangs the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down, and now all that's left is Keith. He's more agile than Troy, though, and ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack. He dropped the knife, and grabbed Jeff by the neck. He pushed him into a wall. A thing of bleach fell down on top of them from the top shelf. It burnt them both, and they both started to scream. Jeff wiped his eyes best he could. He pulled back the towel rack and swung it straight into Keith's head. As he lay there, bleeding to death, he let out an ominous smile. "What's so funny?" asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter, switched it on. "What's funny," he said, "is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol." Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter at him. As soon as the flame made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol in the vodka. While the alcohol burned him, the bleach bleached his skin. Jeff let out a terrible screech as he caught on fire. He tried to roll up the fire, but it was no use. The alcohol made him a walking inferno. He ran down the hall, fell down the stairs. Everyone started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire, drop down to the ground nearly dead. The last thing he saw was his mother and other parents trying to put out the flames. That's when he passed out. When Jeff woke up, he had a cast around his face. He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on his shoulder, stitched all over his body. He tried to stand up, but he realized that there was some tube in his arm. When he tried to get up, it fell out, and the nurse rushed in. "I don't think you can get out of bed just yet," she said, as she put him back in his bed and reinserted the tube. Jeff sat there with no vision, no idea of what his surroundings were. Finally, after hours, he heard his mother. "Honey, are you okay?" she asked. Jeff couldn't answer, though. His face was covered, and he was unable to speak. "Oh, honey, I have great news. After the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed to trying to attack you, they decided to let Lou go." This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway. Remember the tube coming out of his arm. "He'll be out by tomorrow. Then you two will be able to be together again." Jeff's mother hugs Jeff and says her goodbyes. The next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visited by his family. Then came the day where his bandages were to be removed. His family were all there to see it, what he would look like. As the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face, everyone was on the edge of their seat. They waited until the last bandage holding the cover of his face was almost removed.
Let's hope for the best,
said the doctor. He quickly pulls back the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screams at the sight of his face. Jeff's dad and Lou stare awestruck at his face. What? What happened to my face? Jeff said. He rushed out of the bed and ran into the bathroom. When he looked in the mirror, he saw the cause of distress. His face, it's horrible. His lips were burned to a deep shade of red. His face was a pure white color, and his hair singed from brown to black. He slowly put his hand to his face. It had a sort of leathery feel to it now. He looked back at his family, then back at the mirror. Jeff, said Lou, it's not that bad. Not that bad, said Jeff. It's perfect. His family were equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. Jeff's parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching. Jeff? Are you okay? Okay? I've never felt more happy. Look at me. This face was perfectly with me. He couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face, feeling it, looking at it in the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something in his mind's sanity snapped. Now, he was left as a crazy killing machine. That is, his parents didn't know. Doctor? Said Jeff's mom. Is my son alright? You know, in the head?
Oh yes, this is typical behavior for a patient that's taken a very large amount of painkillers. If his behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, though, bring him back, and we'll go in some psychological tests.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. Jeff's mother went over to Jeff. Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go. Jeff looked away from the mirror. His face still formed to a crazy smile. Okay, Mommy. His mother took him by the shoulder, took him to get his clothes. This is what he came in, said the lady at the desk. Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress pants and the white hoodie her son wore. Now they were clean of blood and stitched together. Jeff's mother led him to his room, made him put his clothes back on. Then they left, not knowing that this was their final day of life. Later that night, Jeff's mother woke up to this sound coming from the bathroom. It sounded as if someone was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. And when she looked in the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks. Jeff, what are you doing? Asked his mother. Jeff looked over at his mother. I couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. Now I can smile forever. Jeff's mother noticed his eyes ringed in black. Jeff,
Your eyes.
His eyes were seemingly never closing. I couldn't see my face. I got tired and my eyes started to close, so I burned out the eyelids so I could forever see myself. My new face. Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing that her son was going insane. What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful?
Yes, son.
She said.
Yes, you are. Oh, let me go get Teddy so we can see your face.
She ran into the room and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep.
Honey, get the gun.
She stopped. She saw Jeff in the doorway, holding the knife. Mommy, you lied. That was the last thing they hear, as Jeff rushed them with the knife, gutting them both. His brother Lou woke up, startled by some noise. He didn't hear anything else, so he shut his eyes and tried to go back to sleep. As he was on the border of slumber, he got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up before Jeff's hand covered his mouth. He slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge into Lou. Lou thrashed here and there, trying to escape Jeff's grip. Shh, he said. Just go to sleep.